Everybody, Doug RC here. Just to show a quick tutorial how to install the EXB Super Bash bumper on notorious Outcast, probably Typhon as well, because I couldn't find any videos anywhere on YouTube on how to do it. So I had to Google and use the forums and get all the part numbers and kind of figure it out for myself. So because the standard bumper that comes with these vehicles is kind of chintzy. First couple of nosedives and it breaks. So here it is on actually a V1 Outcast, and fits perfectly. That's it underneath. Got some protection for the chassis, and I'll show you guys the parts and how we got it going on this vehicle. So here are all the parts you'll need to complete the job. Of course, you've got your Super Bash bumper itself. Sorry about the glare. I'll try to go slow there so you guys can pause to get the part numbers. You'll need these screws as well. Again, trying to watch for the shadows. There you go. And the last one. And that's about it. Now, this is your stock bumper Outcast, as you can see. Pretty cool. But this is basically all that it holds onto is 2 screws in there and 2 in the bottom. And as you see, this is the common fault. As soon as you do probably one nosedive at decent speed, you have that break and it starts to loosen from then on. So we're going to be replacing that with these. So this is a 2019 10-year anniversary model Outcast 6S with Proline Badlands on it. I got this beauty in a trade, believe it or not, and unfortunately it's already been run. So some of you might be wondering, are you still going to run it, or are you going to make it a shelf queen? But I gotta say, I love it, and I really want to run it. It's got that awesome chassis underneath, and I don't really want to wreck that either. But I think I'm going to run it on 4S and do the best at not destroying it. Anyway, let's get at it. Okay, so the first part, I've already loosened these 4 screws. So these are 2 millimeters. You have to these you're gonna reuse, and you have to remove these. All right, let's see if we got that one out all the way. A little fidgety, there you go. And the same obviously on the other side. Alright, and on the underside you've got, we're going to switch out bits. Do it one-handed. You're now switching out to a 2.5 from a 2 underneath. So again, you're going to be reusing these ones, so keep these aside. And I just like to just kind of keep them in different piles. And this old one's going to pop right out. There she goes. And this one isn't broken. That's good. However, I've only really tested this truck. Haven't really used it yet. Actually, my son tested it. So anyway, in the trash bin. So this new one is, see here, the hinge pins kind of stick out a little bit. But this, we'll see with this new Super Bash bumper, front Super Bash bumper, it doesn't leave any real visible gap where this old one did. So we're gonna go ahead and put that out. Okay, so we've got all our pieces out. We have the actual bumper. We have the, I guess you want to call it the brace part, for lack of a better word. Sorry if I got that wrong. And you have the sort of bumper spring or cushion or whatever you want to call that. Again, just calling it what I think it may be called. So this is what I was talking about, has a much better fit now with this upgrade. See, this slots right into this area here, and pop it in. Underneath, you just have to kind of give it a bit of a working on the side here, and then it lines up nicely where your screws underneath will secure it. And this is where you can now reuse the ones you removed. So I'll just start with these ones in the front. I like to go in with a hand tool first before I use the power, just to make sure I have a good thread. Unfortunately, this thing was running water or snow or whatever you want to call it. We're up in Canada here, so we have these fun conditions. So we got a little bit of rust, but I'll eventually change those out. Not too worried about it. And I'll start underneath, make sure I'm lined up. Looks pretty good. I'll start with my 2.5 under here. Again, this is 2.5. The other ones are 2 millimeter. Start that this way here. And a lot of that happens too. Where's the pause? So we're using a 2.5. I had to fidget with that a little bit. Okay. Okay, I like to use these old school little wrenches just because I get more leverage. Do the final tightening and don't over torque it. Just when I stop when it's snug. You don't want to strip anything inside in the plastic. All right, nice and snug. We're going to switch out bits to 2 millimeter again. Tighten these up. Okay. All right, this I think I can hand tighten. All right, happy with that. Okay, and we'll move on to installing the spring. Okay, moving on to installing the spring. We need 2 of these 16 millimeter M3s, so AR722316. And I have them ready here in my hand. So basically, as you see under here, it's kind of notched. You can see that. And that slides in nicely into the center here, over those screw sort of slots, for lack of a better word. And it's just get it lined up here. There we go. It just kind of neatly sits there, and you can install your I mean, it goes in really easily, so you can install your 2 millimeter 16 millimeter length M3 screws I could just get it in there properly. There you go, it should line up nicely. Be careful here because you don't really have a thread, so you just kind of have to create one. So again, I like to hand tighten to not use power and to not possibly strip something. Once I feel I have it's caught, I will switch over to the electric screwdriver. There you go. Feels good. I have my 2mm again. I'll drive those down. I'm not going to overdo it, so make sure they're lined up. Okay, just finish those off again with the driver. Pretty good with that. I'll overdo it. All right, so after putting on the bumper spring, the next step, we're going to remove these 2mm right here. I've cracked them loose, so I'll just use my electric driver. These are the only ones you're actually going to end up replacing with longer ones, with new screws. Because when you have the bumper underneath, it adds thickness. All right, we'll go ahead and actually install the bumper now. Awesome, so next step we need, we're gonna actually put the bumper on. We're getting there. We need 2 of these AR-722312, and these are 12mm in length now. They're also M3s for 2mm driver. And this nicely seats underneath. You see it has a bump inside, which lines up with your sort of diff bump on the chassis. If you can see it, it's kind of hard to see. And this lines up nicely, these 2 holes here, and 2 holes there. And they slot in actually really nicely. You can see there. And again, you have to sort of create the thread on that. And I'll start that off by hand. That's my wife using the sewing machine in the background too, so never mind that. We're all working in here. So again, I recommend hand tightening it till you feel it's caught and it's going down nicely. And again, you can use your 2mm driver. Of course, you don't have to use a driver if you don't have one. By all means, use your hand tools. I like the feel of hand tools. Okay, and again, I'm going to finish that off. Snug. Definitely don't over torque it. As soon as your hand naturally stops turning, that's when I stop. So it doesn't strip anything. There we go. All right, on to the next step. All right, the next step, we got to pop in 3 of these AR-722416. So you see they're 16mm, but they're M4s now, and this is with a 2.5mm driver. We're going to pop 3 of those, 1, 2, 3 in here. Again, I like to start it by hand. Make sure I get a thread seated here. Yeah, that feels good. All right, last one. See, that one kind of turned, and it would have then it created an incorrect thread. So again, I think by hand is the best way. 2.5 millimeter in the electric driver. Start in the center. Okay, and two more. This driver doesn't have very much torque, which I like, because then again it prevents from any kind of over torquing and stripping. So again, I'll finish it off by hand, not too tight. And with these ones, I like to use this little hand hex tool, IKEA style. There we go. Comfortable with that, and we'll now move on to our last step. All right, and our final step, again, we're going back to the AR722316. These are 16 mil length M3s again, so 2 millimeter driver, and we need 2 of those. So these are the only actual replacements, so we need a longer screw because we now have the plastic bumper protector here. So it's gonna bend a little bit to form. It'll just form to your chassis, so just kind of line up your hole here, press it down, and again, so this is going into the chassis, so you don't have to worry about a thread here. It's already there. Just still, again, I like to do everything by hand to get it started. Make sure, and in metal here, you can also strip the thread. So go with the electric driver, 2 millimeter. Make sure we're good. Okay, don't want to overdo it. All right, finish her off with the last little bit hand tightening. Making sure we're snug, but not over tightened. All right, that's good. And that's it. Flip the machine over. And the EXP Super Bash Bumper is installed. Nice and sturdy. This thing is a beast. Like I say, I hope this helps some people. I couldn't find any video installing the front bumper. I could only find one with the rear bumper, but my son and I were having troubles with that other stock one on nose dives. This prevents a lot of damage to the bumper and potentially to the front end components. So yes, it protrudes a bit from the body, but then it also protects the body as well. I can pop the body on and show you how it looks. But for me, I always say, and I always say to my kids, function over form. So sometimes, you know, actually how it protects and how it does its job is better than how it actually looks. So hope this helps at least one person to install it and have some more protection for their beautiful rigs. And yeah, likes, subscribes, comments are always welcomed, and I appreciate any feedback from anybody, and hope this helps. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.